Jimmy.
Now, what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up happen.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this Becky quick. While the average man looking at this sad life. She fine as I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5-6. I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot keys. Strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater. Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounce. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thought, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, open up some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them can make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them can make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them can make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Suge, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits. We some snipers.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. My name is Michael Edward Parnati. I go by Michael Edward. And if you guys didn't know, we are a 2023 Benzinga FinTech Awards finalist for Best Data Analysis Tool here at True Trading Group. We are also the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, individual mentorship and coaching for stocks, options, crypto. We also have a futures trading program. We do day trading, swing trading, and also cover long-term investing. There's literally something for everyone here at True Trading Group. But we take that university level curriculum, we combine it with today's top financial tools that are worth over $5,000 a year if you were to pay for them on your own. These are tools that include Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed with congressional trading data and insider trading, a simulator to let you practice trading with fake money but real-time data, trading views charting software, unusual options activity, options flow, dark pool data, short data, to the trade idea scanner, and honestly so much more I could get into later on the stream. But when you join, you're going to get obviously all of our courses, right? You're going to get obviously all of our trade alerts. But when you join, you get access to all these tools as well. We set you up with everything that you need to have the very best chance of becoming successful for one affordable price for the entire year. You also get access to thousands of the most educated, helpful, and supportive and successful community of traders that you guys are ever going to find. That's the True Trading Group community, over 10,000 members strong from 115 different countries. Okay. Guys, in a bit, my partner Adam is actually going to come on and talk about a little bit of an issue that we have and how you can help. All right. So in just a little bit, my partner is going to come on here. He's going to go over a bit of an issue that we have and how you guys are going to be able to help us with that issue. That'll be something that we're going to talk about here in just a few moments. You're also going to get access to, aside from the members, all of the trade alerts from the moderators. There are 9 professional traders with you during the trading session that we have been able to maintain a cumulative win rate of just around 80% now, going on roughly the last 4 years on all of our trade executions. You're wondering who I am and why you should listen to whatever we talk about on here. It's because I didn't figure this stuff out on YouTube or in Discords. I began my trading career working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City, my first job out of college, where I had to go through an educational training program before the fund let me touch $1 of their money. Then 2008 happened, which is the Great Recession and stock market crash, but also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now, fast forward, the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group, along with my team of 9 professional trading mods and over 30-person staff. We've helped thousands of members from all over the world reach their goals. So you guys are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real. You folks have come to the right place. 6 nights a week, Sunday through Friday, we go live right here, totally for free. Where myself and their THD Pro trading mods and special guests will drop golden nuggets, give you free lessons, education, trade ideas, and commentary that can help you guys all make money and become better traders. All right. So with that, I guess we're going to be bringing on my partner here, guys, my business partner and co-founder of True Trading Group, guys. We're going to talk about a little something, bit of an issue that we have and how you guys are going to be able to help. We'll do that there in just a minute. I will go on and I'll talk to you guys about the overall markets here today. This uptrend continues. This rally into the end of the year continues. The chase for performance, the cash coming in off the sideline continues. We're actually up like 14% since the month of November. It's been just an unbelievable rally. And those of you that are joining us from the Stockmaster app, this is an issue. If you guys are just tuning in from the Stockmaster app, this is an issue. We're going to talk about that, what this issue is in just a few minutes here, and how you guys are going to be able to help. So if you guys are from the Stockmaster app, we've got a little bit of this is an issue. So stick around, hang out. Welcome everyone joining us from the Stockmaster app. I want to make sure that you all are well aware that last week, the Dow Jones Industrial Average made a new all-time high. Well, guess what? This week, it was the NASDAQ. The QQQ, the NASDAQ ETF, has just hit a new record all-time high, 409.34. That is the all-time high for the QQQ ETF. The previous all-time high set back in November of 2021 is 408.71. We have eclipsed that mark today on the QQQ. So there you have it, folks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, brand new, fresh all-time high. The Dow has been absolutely exploding. The QQQ, brand new all-time high, absolutely exploding. The S&P is not yet quite at all-time highs. All-time high on the SPY is right up at 480. The actual print is 479.98 on the SPY. That's the ETF for the S&P 500. So we still have a little bit of a ways to go. You still got about $5.50 of upside before you make a new all-time high there for the SPY. And the Russell's not even close. The Russell's all-time high is all the way up there around 244.5. We're currently on the Russell, the IWM, which is the ETF for the Russell 2000. That's sitting right here around 201. So have a ways to go on the Russell before that's got room to its all-time highs. But nonetheless, guys, just a ridiculous rally that we've seen in the markets over the last 2 months. It's one of the strongest rallies that I've ever seen in my career with no pullback, really. I mean, you really haven't had any real pullback or 1 to 2 to 3 day pullbacks during this entire move. It's about a 14 to 16% move, depending on which index it is you're looking at. It's actually an over 20% move on the IWM. The IWM is actually giving you a 20% move in the last month and a half. I need you to understand how insanely incredible that this move has been, because typically the average S&P gain over the course of a calendar year is around 9 to 10% over the last 100 years. You did 14% in a month and a half. The Russell gave you 21% in a month and a half. It's actually one of the craziest rallies that I've ever seen. And we've been talking a lot on this YouTube channel about, whether or not this is going to be the greatest rug pull ever. The stock market left some cookies and milk out for Santa, but is the Grinch going to steal them? This is what everybody wants to know. The market is, by every single metric that you possibly could measure, the markets are overbought at these levels. It's overbought from a technical standpoint. It's overbought from a valuation standpoint. It's overbought from an earnings premium standpoint. It's overbought from every standpoint you could possibly think of. You actually just had the largest inflow ever into the overall markets here in just this past week. You've also had a brand new record high of households that own stocks. 58% of US households now own stocks. That is an all-time record high. Still shockingly low, only 58%, just over half the country own stocks, but that is an all-time high level. You're getting overbought on every metric of the VIX and volatility. You're getting overbought on every metrics of relative strength, RSIs. You're getting overbought on basically every metric that you can imagine. But the market still has continued to push high. Just because something is overbought does not mean that it has to go down. You can look at anyone that has thought that Tesla has been overbought for the last 10 years. Well, you can see how that has gone for them, because Tesla has been overbought for the last 10 years, but yet the stock still continues to go higher. You could have went back over the last 15 years and said that Amazon was extremely overbought, and it was. But the stock still went higher. You can say Nvidia was overbought, but the stock still went higher. Right? That's what we have. Okay, that's markets are sitting up here, and I don't see there being any catalyst before the year is over to really break down this bullish sentiment that we have going into the end of the year. I don't think that you're going to see this massive crash or this big sell-off. I think the underpinnings of this market rally are going to stay here, and any real pullback, I think, is going to get met with some buying pressure as we go into the end of the year. I just don't see us really reversing course until you get deeper into next year. And this has been one of the greatest stretches. Not only has it been one of the greatest stretches of market rallies that I've ever seen, it's been one of the greatest stretches of trading that I have ever seen in my entire career. I've been doing this now over 17 years. And I got to tell you guys something. We just have now hit, and I'll continue to give you these updates in the fourth quarter. So that's October, November, and December. We have had now 69 triple-digit gains alerted inside of the True Trading Group community. Now, I'm talking about not just myself, all of the moderators in True Trading Group. There's 9 professional traders with you. Some of us day trade, some of us swing trade, some of us do both. Some trade stocks, some trade options, some trade futures. We do this. There's 9 professional traders that have different styles and strategies specifically. So there's something literally for everybody in True Trading Group. But between all the moderators over the last 3 months, or really 2.5 months, because we still have half the month of December really to go, 69 triple-digit gains. We had 20 in the month of October, which was a personal record for us in the month of October, right? That was our best month we've ever had, 20 triple-digit gains. Then we broke that record in November. And in November, we had 28 triple-digit gains. That leaves us with 48 triple-digit gains in October and November as a group. Well, now we just had one more here today, which now puts us at 21 for the month of December, which takes us to 69 for the quarter, which is extremely impressive considering there's only around 63 trading days in the quarter. But I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised because the group of traders that we have in True Trading Group are some of the best traders that I have ever seen. I worked on Wall Street. I worked at a hedge fund. I was on a professional trading floor. Some of the best traders that I've ever seen in my entire life. You pair that with the best damn trading platform that I've ever seen in my entire life, as far as the education, the resources, the tools, and the community that is True Trading Group. And then you couple that with the greatest trading environment that I've ever seen in my life in the markets right now, with the volatility and the opportunities that we have for large caps, small caps, mid caps. Doesn't matter what you trade. There's opportunities in every single corner of this market, no matter what sector you're looking at. And that all comes together for what has been the greatest stretch of trading that we have ever had inside of True Trading Group, and that we continue to have on a daily basis. It seems like almost every single day we're hitting another triple-digit gain, as we had another one today. And as a result, as a direct result, members are making money and they're becoming better traders because of it. It's not just the moderators that are making money from these trade alerts. Members are making money, and that's what matters, and that's what counts. And that's why you're here on this live stream, to figure out how you can make money, not to watch other people make money. And I'll prove that to you. I don't just say these things because I believe them to be true. I say them because members tell us that they're making money, and I'll let them tell you themselves firsthand. Members, go ahead and do me a favor and type the number 1 in chat right now. If very simple, are you making money and becoming better traders? If the answer is yes, I would like for you to go ahead and type the number 1 in chat right now. Just go ahead and type the number 1 in chat if you're a member of True Trading Group and you guys are making money and you're becoming better traders. Just go ahead and type the number 1. And anybody that's on this live stream that is not a member of this community yet, I want you to pay attention to how many people type the number 1, because these people are all just like you. They found True Trading Group the same way you did. That's one of these live streams. 82% of our members have busy full-time jobs and work over 40 hours a week, yet they're still able to benefit from the trade alerts and make money with the community. These people didn't start off with tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in their accounts. These people don't have all the time in the world to sit in front of a computer screen. That's why they have the mobile app. We spend a lot of time and money developing our mobile app that's available for iPhone and Android, so you guys can follow along with what's going on during the day, see the screen share, because the mods and I share our screens with you. You can listen to the audio commentary as we talk to you on the mic during the day and receive the real-time push notifications when our mods enter and exit their trades. That's how people follow along, even though they're working full-time jobs. You see, we're not scalpers here at True Trading Group. Now, we do have a scalping mod, Gio. He was a market maker for over 20 years, professional trader for over 20 years, former market maker. And he scalps the ever-living crap out of SPY options. Unbelievable trader. Had a monster trade going into the close today on call options after the market on close imbalances came out. He saw the buys on those imbalances, got into some call options and rode them up from 30 cents up to 75 cents, whatever it was. It was a crazy move going into the close. But the rest of us, the other 8 professional traders that are with you in your trading group, we're not scalpers, right? So the trade alerts that you're going to get sent out through your phone, on your phone, are going to be day trades and swing trades. And our day trades last hours, okay? Not seconds or minutes. Our day trades last, we get into a position, we're out of that position in 3-4 hours later. Our swing trades last several days. I'm in a position on NVIDIA that I've been in for a couple of days. Right, we're in a position on Pfizer that we've been in since last week, and that also was a 100% gain, almost a 200% gain now actually on the Pfizer trade. So I was on this live stream actually last week, and I told you guys about this Pfizer trade. It was something that we scooped up for the long off of a major level at 26, major level there at 26. And you got this beautiful explosive move there to the upside on the back of that Pfizer move. Right. So, I mean, this is what we have going on right now, guys, inside of True Trading Group. And it's some of the best trading that I've ever seen. All right. So there you guys have it. All right. So I think we're ready here now. I think, like I said, my business partner and co-founder of True Trading Group's got some stuff to go over with you guys. But before I call him on, I'd like to see how many people are on here right now that are not members. If you're not a member of True Trading Group and you want a shot at winning $2,000, do me a favor and just type the letters TTG inside of chat, please. Just go ahead and type the letters TTG if you are not a member of True Trading Group and you guys want a shot at winning $2,000. Just go ahead and type the letters TTG right now inside chat. Again, just go ahead and type TTG if you're not a member and you guys want a shot at winning $2,000. We got Zayad, D, Debbie says she doesn't know. Bobby, Kajitan, Margaret. Jesus, Anthony. Awesome. All right, good. So you guys want a shot at winning $2,000. Samir, James. Let's go ahead, guys. Type TTG. If you guys are not members, you want a shot at winning $2,000. Curtis, James G. Diddy. I definitely don't know what that language is. I can't read your name. Hey, Big Mike. I think you were on the live stream last night, if I'm not mistaken. Waiting for the link to pop up in chat so that you can join. Big Mike, I'll tell you this. Instead, send a text message, Big Mike, right now to one. I'm talking to Big Mike specifically, and honestly, anybody else that's interested in joining the community, but I know specifically Big Mike, I know you're interested. Send a text to 1-888-306-8783. That's 1-888-306-8783. Big Mike, 1-888-306-8783.
Yo. What's going on?
What's up?
Nothing much. All right. What's going on, guys? My name is Adam. I am the co-founder of True Trading Group. Since it's like 99.99999% of our members in here, you guys all know who I am. What I'd like to say is this. We have a little bit of a problem, but it's a good problem to have, right? What I'm going to do is this. We had kind of a huge year inside True Trading Group. And what I would like to do is I would very much like to write off a couple. Why'd you tell me Jesus comment?
Jesus's comment.
Oh, I got the membership, but got into an accident and was unable to get through the courses. Can you sign me back up at a discount? Yeah, so I'm getting to that. So what I would like to do is try and write off a couple memberships, kind of like a one-day thing before we have to turn some stuff in this week. So with that said, if you have an interest in joining True Trading Group and you would like to join at an incredibly steep discount, this is not something that we will ever offer like anywhere again for any reason whatsoever. Then do yourself a favor, and Joe has the link. Click the link that we're going to put in here. Enter your name and your email, and you'll be chatting directly with me online. So we are not going to be selling memberships on here like normal tonight. If you want to sign up for True Trading Group, you need to click that link, put your name and email in, and we will discuss a very steep discount for you to join for quite literally tonight only. All right. We also do not have any laptops. We are sold the F out. I do not know when or if we will get more before the holidays. So I will obviously consider that in reducing the price of the membership as well. All right. We do not take Affirm. We do accept Klarna, although Mike takes Affirm. You like that? Anyways.
Yeah. So that was hilarious.
It's funny. Go ahead and click that link if you would like to get more information on joining. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. That's all you wanted to do? Okay, excellent. Anybody have any questions for me? I can just go ahead and answer any questions that you guys have. Any questions, folks? You guys can give me a ticker symbol. I'll give you my opinions on it. Thoughts on Meta Long? Let's see. So Meta Long was actually one of the ideas from yesterday and today inside a True Trading Group. For me, we just came up to a level of resistance that I see on this chart in the mid 350s. And I'm looking at right here. I'll just show it to you guys. There's your level. There you can see the resistance right there at the end of 2021. And then that is right where the stock is currently sits now. So you are at a big level of resistance. Your next level of resistance after that, you have some minor levels in here, but the next major level is going to be the double top all-time high. That's up at 385. I do think that the stock could continue higher and maybe get a little bit of a pullback off of this zone first, but I think that Meta Long is a solid idea. It's been one of the strongest stocks of the year. UPS short. UPS short is working out very nicely because FedEx just came out with their earnings and FedEx is getting its head taken off, down 9%. So there's your FedEx, as FedEx's earnings came out and they were a miss. Earnings per share were $3.99 versus $4.19 estimates. Sales were $22.2 billion. Estimates were $22.39 billion, and their fiscal year outlook was $17 to $18.50 earnings per share. That's against $18.25 estimates. And they are talking about capital spending of $5.7 billion. And that's taking FedEx to the downside as a direct result, as they are almost one and the same, is UPS trading to the downside on the back of FedEx's earnings, right into support level. And that's a gap fill of 157.5. 157.5 is the gap fill from right here. That's a little bit of a support zone. But if you get this overall weakness on FedEx, maybe you get that a break of that level. But I know some members of the Trading Group are short UPS over the last 2 days. And that's going to be a big winner for you guys tomorrow morning. Once the markets open up, those options will be printing triple digits. SMCI. That's an interesting one. Well, I'm not crazy about SMCI. To me, it's just kind of more neutral than any. I don't have really high conviction on SMCI either way. You're up into this gap, but the gap fill is a long ways away. Your gap fill is all the way up in the high 340s, 347, 348 is your gap fill on SMCI. It seems like you keep running into resistance every time you pop up here above 310. I would lean to the bullish side, but it's not very high conviction for me on SMCI. AVGO is one of the strongest stocks in the entire market. It's in the long-term portfolio for us in True Trading Group. It's been a huge runner. It's a huge winner. It's sitting at all-time highs. I certainly would not be trying to short this stock, but this is a huge move. And just like anything, nothing goes up in a straight line. I can easily see a pullback that takes you back underneath 1100 and then consolidate and form a little bit of a consolidation and a flag pattern over the next couple of weeks on Broadcom. Somebody else said Adobe. I'll touch on Adobe. Adobe's got work to do. Adobe has work to do to kind of fill this gap. You have this little bit of a potential topping tail there today. Very key support level that's down here around 575. That's been in place. That's been in play now for a while. You guys can see you've got resistance here, and then you became support after that, support there on that gap down after earnings. That was an earnings gap down, and then the 50-day moving average held, and now you're pushing the stock back to the upside. Right now, I just see a consolidation pattern here on Adobe inside of this trading range. Resistance 620 to 625, support 575, and I think the stock trades inside that range for the next several weeks. Carvana broke above a major resistance level today. All right, Carvana broke above a huge resistance level today. Let's see if it's got juice. There's about 34% of the float is short on this name. And you guys can see that resistance level that you used to have here, and then again back here. Well, you broke above it today, right? So now you guys can see that we are sitting above that level. I would look for 56 to 57 to be support on Carvana and see if we can actually get a short squeeze that takes you into the 60s. I do think it needs to pull back and test that area. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do get a pullback to retest it. It held today. You tested it today and it held today. So here's that level. I'll just draw it across for you guys. And you can see you gapped up today, held it early, and then you got that little bit of a move into the close. So certainly looks like a clean break there on Carvana, but let's see if we can now establish a bid above that prior resistance level to see if there's maybe more room for a short squeeze on that name. 34% of that float is short. Kava thoughts, sure. I'm looking for Kava to now start a new uptrend. So after Kava's IPO, you had this downtrend that lasted there August, September, and then you traded sideways and you baselined. You formed a huge support level at $30. They came out, they had earnings. The shot now just shot through back above this level. And I'm looking for this that previously was a double bottom off of the IPO. Then you have this resistance level here. I'm looking for that level to now be support. Look for the 50-day moving average to come up here, cross above this 100-day in the next couple of weeks. And then I'm looking for Kava actually to start a new uptrend, as I actually think that Kava is a pretty good name. There's a ton of these up by where I live in the Northeast. I've never been inside one, and there not been a line at least 20 people deep. So I like Kava. I think that you look for 37, 38 to be support on pullbacks, and then look for a new uptrend to take that stock back into the mid to high 40s. CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is a beast. Again, another one of the stocks that's in the long-term portfolio for us. Coming up to resistance now. You filled this gap that was an open, unfilled gap that's all the way back from November of 2021. I think that maybe CrowdStrike has a little bit more room to the upside, but then once you get to like the 270s, I think you're running into the top. I think the top of this move is going to sit somewhere in this region. All right. I think you're going to run right into that region for CrowdStrike. Netflix breaking above a key level of 480. This is a huge level for the stock. Okay. This is a huge level for the stock. Now, what I want you to look at with Netflix is how this used to be a huge level of support back there in 2020 and 2021. Then as you zoom it in, you see that it became resistance here in 2023. And then you broke above that level yesterday, and then there's that bottom tail becoming support. So you want to see 480 to 485 be support now for Netflix, and see if Netflix can continue and actually completely fill this gap, because the complete gap fill takes you all the way to 508. So looking for Netflix to completely fill this gap, which was the initial gap down from its earnings disaster back in 2022, which was the shell shock to everybody when their earnings were as terrible as they were. That gap fill takes you back to 508. Look for 480, 45 support to possibly take you to that mark. SoFi. I like SoFi. I own SoFi in my long-term portfolio. I own it from higher prices. I think I bought this thing around 15, and then I added around 13. I think my average is around 13 and change. Stock currently sitting here at $10. I like SoFi for the long term. That company really got the crap end of the stick because of what happened with the student loans and the student loan moratoriums, where nobody had to pay back their student loans for years. And every time the deadline was coming due, Biden kept extending the moratorium where people that had student loans did not have to pay back the student debt. That sucks for SoFi. 10 to 15% of the revenue comes from student loan refinancing. And it's also a way that they gain new customers onto their platform by bringing people in that are just starting out their careers. They bring them on with the student loan refinancing. Then they keep that person. They give them all these different, banking products, and keep them on their platform as they then grow in their careers. They become higher earners. They give them other banking products that they can make money from. So the stock, through no fault of their own, got absolutely decimated during that entire process. Now with, looking more and more like possibility of a soft landing, the stock's been recovering off of your big support down at 450. I think that this stock has room to recover over the next several years. I actually think that SoFi is a stock that's going to be trading in the 20s if you fast forward a couple of years from now. But I'd say resistance heavy right around 10 and a quarter, maybe a pullback from 10 and a quarter. We have to welcome Brian. Brian's the newest member of the TTG family. Everybody welcome Brian. Guys, again, if you guys are interested in joining True Trading Group for a one-time huge discount that's only going to be available for you today, just send a text message to 1-888-306-8783. That's 1-888-306-8783. Text us right now if you're interested. Next up is ENPH. ENPH solar stocks have been ripping. And the reason why solar stocks are ripping is directly related to interest rates. Solar stocks are extremely interest rate sensitive, extremely. And as interest rates shot higher over the last 4 months, these stocks got absolutely destroyed. I'm talking more than 50% drops in a matter of 2 to 3 months. Now that interest rates have peaked and interest rates have come down, there is almost a dead line up here. I'll show you when interest rates peaked. Interest rates peaked right there. Look at when the stock started. Look at when Enphase started moving to the upside. Direct correlation to when interest rates peak. These stocks are extremely interest rate sensitive. Okay. And Enphase has been ripping back to the upside. I think Enphase still does have some room. It broke above 133 resistance today. Next resistance that I see on this name is going to be up around the mid 140s. Call it 145. All right. 145. You also had some upgrades, analyst upgrades, and all the analysts that upgraded the solar names were specifically in their analyst upgrades, citing interest rates and a more favorable interest rate environment for these stocks. Sunrun was the beneficiary of an upgrade today. Stock was up 8% from an analyst upgrade. And then Enphase also a beneficiary of an analyst upgrade, talking about a favorable environment with lower interest rates. And that's up 9.5%. So those stocks have been ripping face. Now listen, they've fallen tremendously over this past year, but relief rallies, and I think that this stock has room to the mid 140s. Google, please. Certainly. This is a tougher one. See, because when I look at Google, you just see such a huge resistance level here at 140. I mean, just look at this thing. Right, just a huge resistance level there at 140. Not a high conviction for me either way. You had a big move yesterday once the news came about their settlement. There's a lot of antitrust and there's a lot of regulation issues right now with Alphabet, and they settled for $700 million on one of them. And that was seen as a very positive thing. $700 million is actually not a lot of money for them. And the fact that it was only a $700 million settlement is actually much lower than analysts were anticipating the settlement would be at. But there are still larger regulations and suits that are going on that could potentially be much bigger than that. And the stock will probably react, when those news things come out. That's what happened yesterday. And that, obviously had a big impact on the stock once the settlement was lower than what people were thinking it was going to be. I think it maintains the bullish trend. You have obviously AI and everything there, but just big resistance up there around 140. And I'd rather be taking profits into 140 than thinking about trying to go long into it. NIO. NIO is trying to pick itself up off the ground. All of these electric vehicle stocks have just been complete trash. Nikola, Fisker, XPEV, NIO. LI is actually has held up better than all of the rest. LI has done pretty well. But NIO, you see this huge support level down there at $7. Stocks recovered off of $7, but I think you got to be careful of $9.50. I think this is going to be a really, really kind of a problem area for the stock. Not only do you have the 200 and 100-day moving average sitting there at 925, but 950, you have that gap entry and this previous pivot low. And that I think creates a ceiling up there around 9.25 to 950. That's on NIO. Thoughts on utility sector in 2024, given the potential interest rate cuts, the most beat up sector since COVID. Yeah, these utility stocks do very, very poorly when there is other because the whole thing about utility stocks is they're great dividend payers. And when you had yields moving higher, you had fixed income and bonds and municipals and everything else and T-bills that were just providing better returns than just going into a utility with the and get the dividend with these utilities. Once interest rates actually start to go down and those money market funds come out of fixed income, they're not going to completely come out because interest rates are still going to stay higher from where they were over the last decade, 15 years. Interest rates will settle even after the cuts are done. Interest rates are not going to go back to zero. So I do think that utilities have a much better year in 2024 than they did in 2023. They've already recovered very, very nicely coming into the end of the year. They were down a hell of a lot worse than that earlier this year. They've recovered pretty nicely, but I do think there's more room to the upside going into next year on utilities. Affirm has news today that they're going to be included now in the self-checkouts at 4,500 Walmarts. So Walmart's going to have Affirm as a payment option at the self-checkout counters in 4,500 stores. That sent this stock absolutely flying today, right up against this huge resistance level. I think that just after this news, I'm stepping away from it. I tried this thing actually short today early in front of this level just because it's such a huge level and I wanted to be short in front of it. But then that news kind of breaks down that level. Was like a half of a risk unit loss for me. So it was a small loss, was a baby loss, never even got to my stop loss. But I just wanted to get out of the position because the stock held up today with that news. And I'm not comfortable holding that position overnight. After that news, it's a huge volume day for the name. This is a massive level of resistance, but if you can clear this resistance level out, there really isn't a lot of resistance on the stock until you really start to push significantly higher from here. I just don't want to be stepping in front of this level. Stepping in front of this move today. I'll keep eyes on it tomorrow, but this has just been one hell of a rally that the stock has had going back there from November. We made some pretty good money long Affirm at the end of November, but then did not capitalize on any of this long. This was really where we made our money on the long on Affirm last month. I'm not really comfortable going long it up here. For me right now, it's just a non-trade for me. I'll keep eyes on it, but for me, it's a non-trade. I can't get long up here. SOUN, that's something I haven't looked at in a while. I don't like this stock or company at all. I think you'll probably see this stock maybe, down around $1 in the next year. I know it's an AI name. Has not participated in a lot of the other AI rallies. I don't know much about the company's fundamentals, but the stock hasn't participated in any of the AI tech rally. I'm just going to assume that there's a reason for it. I have no intentions on putting the stock in my long-term portfolio. And I think there's a greater chance you see the stock at $1.25 than you do see the stock at $5. So I'm not really interested in, it's not a stock I've looked at in a long time. I have no real interest in looking at the stock going forward either. AMD. Now, I love AMD in the long term. This is a stock that's in the long-term portfolio. Owned it for years, added to it last year. But I think you're probably looking at now maybe a pullback into the low 130s. I feel like we're kind of starting to top out and run out of momentum and run out of steam up here. You had a nice little resistance level back here from January of 2022. I can see just a little bit of a pullback and a like just consolidate. I just think I don't like when I say a pullback from here, I'm not talking about like the stock doing this, right? I'm just talking about, like this, like just a consolidation, right? And then just consolidate and just kind of trade sideways and take a breather. I kind of feel like you're due for a little bit of a consolidation on AMD. We have to welcome Jesus. Jesus is the newest member of the group. Jesus, welcome to the family, and I think it's welcome back to the family, if I am not mistaken. I think Jesus used to be a member of True Trading Group, so welcome back. Guys, again, if you're interested at all about joining True Trading Group, we've got a kind of one-time offer right now for an extremely big discount. So if you guys are interested in joining True Trading Group, it's just, we're only going to offer it here today. We're not even going to talk about it openly on the live stream. Just send a text message if you're interested to 1-888-306-8783. We'll answer any questions that you guys have about the platform as well. You guys can also click the no. All right, one of you one of you just said no. So guys, you can click the chat now tab inside of chat if you guys want to speak directly to Adam about that discount. Ooh, AZO. I haven't looked at that stock in a while. Wow. $2,700 a share. You guys maybe want to do a stock split. 2750 is your mark, right? I mean, 2750 is like a quadruple top. We've gotten up there now 4 or 5 times, and that's your all-time high. And you've rejected off it each and every time. You are making lower lows off of that resistance. So you guys can see you are making lower lows instead of making higher lows into that resistance. I think I'm leaning towards a pullback to 2450, 2400 rather than a breakout to 2800. That's what I'm going to lean towards. And I also think that as interest rates come down, car financing and car leases become a little bit more affordable. And people are going to be maybe more likely to get a new car rather than fix up their current car. I'm thinking maybe pull back to 2400, 2450. ARM is one that was a huge winner for us inside of True Trading Group this past month. And it continues to be a name that we're focusing on with a 6750 to 69 support buy zone. And just to see if this can continue to the upside and get into the mid 70s. I still think that this chart is more of a long setup than it is a short setup. There's your previous all-time high. And then you also have a pivot support level right here at 67.5. And I think that this area is your support zone. And I'm looking for that area to hold. And I'm looking for ARM to continue to new all-time highs. XLF financials are going to do very, very well next year if there's not a recession. If there's not a recession, which it looks like the odds of that almost go down almost day by day. But if there's not a recession next year, I actually think financials do pretty well, because then you're going to be left with financials that are you're going to see mergers and acquisitions pick up. So that's going to bode well for on the investment banking side of businesses, where that side of business this year and last year actually was very, very, very low and very much below average numbers. You'll probably see that pick up a little bit next year. you'll be left with higher interest rates, higher normalized interest rates, like once the Fed's done cutting. And the higher the interest rate, these banks haven't really had a big spread for them to make money over the last several years when interest rates were near zero. When interest rates are higher, there's more of a little bit of a spread there for the banks to make more money just for lending money out. And if there's not a recession, there's a soft landing, then you don't have that economic contraction and that lockup of borrowing. If the economy continues to grow, then you'll get borrowing, interest rates come down, then people borrow more, they can lend out more money. And you have all of this additional capital that came into the big banks from all these regional banks, and all that money needs to get lent out so that they can actually start earning interest on the money. And I feel like if there's not a recession, I think it bodes very well for the financials next year. Lisa Vogel says Sunrun. I just talked about Sunrun. I'll just briefly mention it again. These solar stocks have done very well as interest rates have pulled back in. Solar stocks are extremely interest rate sensitive stocks. They're probably one of the most interest rate sensitive sectors that you have. It's why the stocks got decimated when interest rates shot to 5% on the 10-year. And it's why they're exploding now that the 10-year's dropped to 3.9. There's been a lot of analyst upgrades in the last couple of days on Sunrun, Enphase, and some solar names on the back of the lower interest rates and it being a better environment for these stocks. I can see Sunrun going up to 22 to 23 is the resistance level that I see there. And then maybe pullbacks from that mark. What are my thoughts on uranium and BWXT? Wow, GC Productions. Are you a member of True Trading Group? I'm just curious. GC Productions, are you a member? Do I see KRE going back to all-time high? No, I do not. I do not see KRE going back to highs. Regional banks, I think, are going to come under more stress next year when I think you're going to have a commercial real estate little bit of a hiccup next year, and regional banks have all that exposure. So I don't think the KRE goes back to all-time highs. All right, GC Productions, I guess. All right, didn't answer. The reason why I was asking if you were a member of True Trading Group is because in my 2023 stock market outlook report, I actually named uranium as one of my top ideas, and you can see it's done extremely well this year. And you said URNM, which is just another. It's a uranium mining ETF. Versus just a regular, just the global uranium ETF. Very, very, very similar. But you're looking at the miners. But was pretty bullish this year on uranium, and I'm actually pretty bullish on it going forward. And BWXT was the company that I named as my top kind of idea in the uranium sector. And you can see what that stock has done this year. This company does everything that you can possibly imagine involving nuclear anything. From nuclear submarines to nuclear power plants, they do everything, to nuclear medicine. I mean, they do everything. So lots of diversity there. BWXT, it is a company that I own. It's something that I added at the beginning of this year, and it's something that I like, and I'm going to hold on to it probably for at least a few more. Oh, you are a member. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just wondering if you were thinking about, if you just had that thought on your own, or if you had heard me talk about that company before, because not a lot of people know about BWXT. It's not a very well-known company. It's not a very well-known stock. So I was just curious if you had heard me talk about the company before. But it just made new all-time highs. Like, you go to a weekly chart, and you look at this chart, right? You broke out of this previous all-time high. So, I mean, hey, any pullbacks into 70, I think they're longs and continue uptrend to new all-time highs. So I actually think that BWXT is a pretty good one. The other uranium company that I like, and these are the two I like the most, is CCJ. CCJ, really nice move. That's not quite at all-time highs, but a really nice move for CCJ this year. But I do like BWXT. Yeah, and I like uranium. Listen, the reason why I like uranium, and the reason why I put it in my report as one of my top ideas for 2023, was because of what happened with energy when Russia invaded Ukraine. when Russia invaded Ukraine, all of Europe realized, oh crap, we are way too reliant on Russia for all of our energy needs. Now you take a country like Germany, for example. Germany used to be able to just completely be, self-energy sufficient. They used to have 10 nuclear power plants. They shut them all down. And then when Russia invaded Ukraine and sanctions got put on Russia, Russia was like, all right, well, screw you guys. And we're cutting off our energy into Europe. And you saw energy prices skyrocket in Europe. And that was a really, really difficult time. People were paying more for their heating bill than they were their rent or their mortgage, right? Like any of our members that are on here that are in Europe, or you guys are in the UK, there were people that were spending maybe, 2,500 pounds for rent, but 2,800 pounds for their energy bill. I mean, it was just absolutely insane. It was crazy. And I think that is a little bit of a wake-up call for people to say, okay, solar energy and wind energy, it's not yet that technology. It's not yet there to just provide energy at mass scale like that. And it's just not as feasible. When you look at nuclear energy, it is the most powerful form of energy, and it's green. It is green energy. It is clean. So it has the environmentalist side and it has the energy independent side for nuclear energy. In order for you to have nuclear energy, you need uranium. So that's why I thought that uranium was going to be a little bit more in demand, and people are going to start to revisit. Obviously, you've had, some nuclear meltdowns in the past, Chernobyl, and you have some others. And that really kind of made people like scare away from nuclear energy. But times have changed. Technology has changed. I think that, I think you're going to see a revisitation of nuclear energy going forward, thanks to Europe's realization of, you know what, we're too reliant on our enemies for our energy. We can't do that going forward, because imagine if there was imagine if things escalated and NATO and Russia went to war. What would that do to energy prices in Europe? I just feel like that's why I feel like uranium is something that people should, that I think is going to be reconsidered over the next several years. I think it's more feasible, and I think it's green, and it's extremely powerful. So that's why I'm bullish on uranium. Any other questions, folks? Ooh, Uber. Uber. I like Uber. I think the stock is very expensive right now. The stock had a big rally because they're added to the S&P 500. And once that news came out, so basically what happened is Uber was in talks to be added into the S&P 500, but you can't be in the S&P 500 unless you have 2 quarters of profitability. And Uber, as you guys know, up until this year was not a profitable company. 2 quarters ago, they reported their first quarter of profit. So this most recent earnings quarter that they came out with and reported another quarter of earnings, that's it. Now they qualify. That was the only qualification they were missing to be added to the S&P 500. So they were added and SCDG was taken out. And that sparked a massive rally because every single fund in the world that is anchored to the S&P, like there's funds out there that are benchmarked to the S&P 500. Every single fund out there needs to now add Uber to their portfolio if they didn't own it already, because they're being added to the S&P 500. And that sent the stock from 46 to 63. It's extremely overbought, in my opinion, when you look at, any metric, right up against its all-time high. But I do like Uber for the long term. And I think if there's a pullback into the mid to low 50s, I think that's a buy on Uber. Tesla thoughts on the rest of this week. I actually don't think Tesla is I think there's better things to trade. I think Tesla right now is just in a choppy consolidation phase that doesn't really have clear. I said this, was it 2 days ago? I think somebody asked me, I think the other day about Tesla. And I said, I'm leaning bullish on Tesla, but it's not a high conviction trade. I think there's better charts out there. The stock's just been consolidating, guys, for months. I mean, honestly, and it's Tesla, so its ranges are much wider, but really we're in the same spot we were in June. Like nothing's really changed. Like look where we are, and it's exactly where we were at in June. So like nothing's really changed here. I just think the stock is in a consolidation phase. I'm leaning to the bullish side. You just broke above this downtrend, right? You kind of broke out, had a nice little heavy volume increase there. You might have room up to this pivot around 265 or so. So maybe a little bit more upside, but then I can see you just pull back right from there and just continue to stay inside of that consolidation. So again, with Tesla, leaning bullish, but just not high conviction. No, I would not take profits now on Uber and buy back later. Don't try to be cute like that. In your long-term portfolio, I do not recommend trying to be cute like that. It's the death of many retail investors when they try to time the market so perfectly like that. If you like a stock for the long term, which I do like Uber for the long term, you like a stock for the long term, just own it. Buy more when it goes down. Don't try to get cute and take profit and buy back and take profit and buy back, because 99% of the time you're going to screw that up and the stock's not going to pull back. It's going to keep going higher and you're going to have a really hard time buying back in. For me, it's easier to buy a stock when it's going down than it is to buy it when it's going up. Let's say you sell Uber at 64 and then a month from now it's at 72. What are you going to do? Are you going to buy it now at 72 or are you going to wait for it to pull back? Well, what if it goes to 80? And then it finally pulls back to 65 and you're like, oh, here's the pullback. But then you don't buy it because like, oh, now the stock's going to, it's harder. If you like a stock in your long-term, it's like, imagine NVIDIA. You want to try to be cute with NVIDIA, stock's at $500, I think you have a stock in your long-term portfolio that you like, just own it. Buy it when it goes down. Listen, to put things into perspective for you, I have only really sold in my long-term portfolio one time. And that was the very end of 2021. October of 2021. I'll show you on the chart. Right here was the first time that I really sold in my long-term portfolio, because I just had such insanely high conviction of a market crash in 2022. And then when the markets crashed, I bought back here and I bought back here. So I sold some here and I bought here and I bought here. And now look where we are. Imagine if I didn't buy here and I sold here and now the markets are higher from where I sold them. Imagine that. Right? So I've been doing this for over 17 years, and that's the first time that I've ever really done something like that. So you don't see me every year try to get cute and oh, let me sell Microsoft and I'll buy it back cheaper, and I'll sell AMD and I'll buy it back cheaper. It's like, no, I love these stocks. When they go down, I'm just going to buy more. Last year was a unique scenario, or end of 2021 was a unique scenario where I said, hey, that's it. The party stops here. The Fed's got to raise rates. Inflation is starting to run. The Fed's going to have to raise rates. That's not good for stocks. So I sold right before the Fed started raising rates. As soon as they started raising rates, the markets went down. No, I don't see NIO getting that much higher than $9. $9.25 to $9.50, I think, is a near term ceiling on NIO. Nice. You bought some Pfizer shares. I didn't realize this when I had said this to you guys last week, but there's actually 4 moderators in True Trading Group that are long Pfizer from last week. 4. Myself, Glenny, Wolf, and Green Thumb are all long Pfizer. It's just a textbook flush out, a bullish candle formation on the daily chart, at a massive support level. You're talking about a support level that's been in place since 2014, which is $26. And it was like, it almost seemed like every week there was bad news coming out of Pfizer. And the company did that on purpose. The stock's already down on the year. You're already getting tax loss harvesting. So people are going to sell that, take the loss, write that off against gains that they have in other areas of the market, in other parts of their portfolio. And 2 weeks ago, they came out with news that they were ending their trial for their weight loss treatment. That was negative. The stock had a big gap down. Then they were like, hey, you know what? On top of that, our outlook next year is going to suck because there's no demand for our COVID boosters and our COVID vaccines anymore like we had. So we're going to lose that revenue. Our outlook for 2024 does not look good. And the stock, bang, huge gap down again. And I'm like, the company didn't have to come out and say that. They're purposely getting all of the negative news out before the year is over so that the rest of the shareholders they have that want to sell, get them out, get all the bad news out of the way. It's a textbook flush out. You flushed out right into a massive support level at 26. We took the long, and it's been a 200% gain on call options for members into your trading group. 28.50 is the target. You're already at 28.20. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that target's been met. I honestly think you can see Pfizer go all the way to $30 before you have any real serious pullback. It's going to take time for Pfizer to get there. Pfizer's a very slow moving stock, but it's been a great trade for us into your trading group. And it was played multiple ways. It was played with equity, with shares, which is what I bought. It was played with January call options, which is what Glenny bought. It was played with February call options, which is what Green Thumb bought. And it was played with 2025 leaps, which is what the Wolf bought. So a lot of different ways to play it, always to make money. And it's been a big win for members into your trading group. So congratulations to those of you that did catch this one with us. 4 moderators all in the same trade, which doesn't happen that often. All right. So guys, again, just send a text message if you guys are interested in joining True Trading Group for a ridiculous discount that we're only offering here today. If you're interested in what that discount is, send a text message now to 1-888-306-8783. Again, that is 1-888-306-8783. Nope, wrong what? What did I say that was wrong? Okay, Adam has left the stream, so I'm not sure. Send a text message to 1-888-306-8783. Oh, now you can click the link in chat. All right, click the link in chat, guys, if you're interested in the membership. I'll see you guys all later. Members of True Trading Group, you guys can hop on into the main chat if you'd like. We can have some fun in there. For those of you that are not members of True Trading Group, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. I'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful night.